Trolleger show. Let's hope this shit isn't bad. And today I will be interviewing Dr. Droney. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, I am Johnny, or I used to be Seaweed, and I'm an artist, and I work for ROAMS.
Alright. So what introduced you into ROAMS.io?
My friend invited me, and that's also how I got into the dev team.
Did you ever work for any other games beforehand?
Hmm, I possibly could have done like fan art or something.
Alright.
I can't recall anything now. I have done fish for cat goes fishing mods. That's what I've done.
Yeah. So you got introduced, but why did you decide that ROAMS.io was something worth working for?
I used to play Mope a lot, so the second I heard that there is actually some sort of pulp or something else that's mobile, I just had to check.
So when did you start playing Mope.io then?
Oh, I have no idea. I have my wallpaper and it's set to like 2022, I think, is one of them. Somewhere around there, maybe even less,
Yeah.
about 21 maybe.
So I'd assume you're pretty active in the community, right?
Not as much, but I still check it out.
Of course.
I usually look at the art channels and everything.
So what do you see happening with the future of this community in general?
It's probably gonna be a bit dead for a while, as long
Yeah.
as Pasha is gonna be making the rewrite. And once the rewrite is done and everything is set up and it actually functions and doesn't crash,
Should be alive, yeah.
I think people will come back.
Do you think the community overall now is good or bad?
It used to be worse. There's people like Abby and all sorts of his
Yeah.
people. But I think how it's dead here, it's kind of okay. People aren't as toxic, I think.
Yeah. So who do you think, just for the community overall, which people were just ruining it the most? Well,
For the community itself, I'd say mm, mainly Abby and his team because they were just straight up harassing people in there.
mhm.
There's no other explanation. I guess Obis is a little too straightforward with his opinions, but he's very good in the game. Like he helps a lot with the
Yeah.
balancing and everything, even though people hate him for it sometimes.
So yeah.
Otherwise, that's it.
So the community is good overall. So at the current state of this game, how do you think more people will figure out that it actually exists? What would be the best method of advertising at the current stage? At this current stage.
Because the IO game era is kind of dead,
Yeah.
not as in the spotlight. I think it's mostly gonna be friends sharing King hacks, actually like making promoting it on websites and maybe making ads of it.
Of course. Yeah, I've talked to Pasha a bit about it, and he did try to actually implement, like, how there's different websites where they host different browser games, but none
Yes, I
have really,
know.
yeah, none have really taken on to roams.io yet. Probably because of the copyright.
Huh.
Alright. So the next question is, how much have you contributed to the game, right? What do you think you have contributed?
I have contributed a bit, both like with some sort of ideas that sometimes it's like stick does not stick to the wall, and some fun art and some artwork.
Yeah.
I made lots of food. I made the bushes. I made the berries. I think I made a clam and stars,
Yeah.
and I made a few animals and rares.
And I think it's on topic, but if someone else ever wants to join the Roams team because you're actually in it and you know the people who have got into it, what would you recommend? to get in?
Definitely someone who's resilient mentally and can take feedback and like can understand that people are a bit toxic, just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
It's a little different. It's not as peaceful as I guess other communities if I ever was in one.
What do you think the staff and the player base in general think about you? Are you a more like respected figure or controversial
I
or what?
am fairly respected in basically every
Yeah.
io.io server I know. But I'm a bit controversial because I like to argue a lot. I argue and I won't shut the fuck up. And that's why I was very known with Abby because if
Yeah.
there's two yappers, you never shut up.
So, which player do you think, not like any of the developers working on the code well, which player do you think has contributed the most to the game overall?
Hmm, no idea, honestly.
From the
Maybe
staff
like
team.
some sort of testers or like people who used to be just players and became the game testers. I think those were pretty important.
Yeah. So, I know Pasha's doing a rewrite. Are they doing testing right now as well?
Testing as of what?
Just testing regarding the rewrite.
He shows like screenshots and videos of his work, so I assume it's still not test worthy, but he's working on it.
All right. So, I think that brings us into what are just one of your most memorable moments in ROAMS.io, right? The game.
Mhm. In the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea. I haven't played in a while. I guess no, I don't. I don't think I have one really.
No? What about one of your
No,
best then?
I think like when we got the arrows, when we could actually when I got the the session token thing that gives you XP just for eagle before we had arrows,
Ah.
and I just got the golden eagle with mouse. That was really cool.
So I haven't played the game in a while, but how do arrows work?
Arrows work like the mob glitch. The glitch where you could swap your menu all the time and you could get all the rares. This
Hmm.
is how it works, except you can actually like move around. You are not stuck in a single tier.
So does it like allow you to like shoot out arrows?
No, like arrow keys.
Oh my goodness,
You
cause
have up,
yeah.
yes, you have up arrow key and down arrow key.
Hmm.
Each arrow key puts you one tier up or down.
Wow. Cause I just I heard some drama about Kraken and arrows, so I thought that she was like shooting out
Uh,
arrows.
that would have been more interesting, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
So
drama is about Kraken just mm, be using the barons to just like gain invincibility because you have invis frames once you spawn.
so when you're like Black Dragon and you press the up arrow key, do you become like the what is it called? The OBD? That's the acronym. What
Uh,
happens when you press the up arrow key when you're a Black Dragon or the highest tier?
you get more XP.
Like 10 million, 50 million, or what?
I think it stacks to 45 million. I think that's how much you can have on OBD.
Wow, that's a lot. So,
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
does everyone, which people do have access to the arrows function?
The most the most active ones. I think most of the team has it, except for maybe like outdated people who left or
Yeah.
do not speak.
So, do you think the current, as this game is right now, do you think they are willing to accept in developers?
It's a very strange situation. Pasha is very, like, he does not trust many people, and
Yeah.
he can't even find any, like, where would he find anyone who would actually be willingly working on this for
Yeah.
free?
Were there ever any people who actually try to say like, "Hey, I can help the game," right? But weren't good enough at coding, or there's another reason?
Maybe, like, I have no idea if Mo.io ever tried, if it's Mimpig or Mo.io, I forgot the guy
Yeah.
who made it. Maybe he tried, but he's not gonna good enough. And once Koa tried to propose something where he works for us if works with us if we remove the like mobile as this as the basics, just the mob skins, to
Yeah.
remake it entirely, which is not possible.
So I used to beta test for Mo.io. So like, what's happening with this game now? Cause it's been a while since I've checked in.
There's not much happening. Sometimes there's like the community made events by people.
Yeah.
The latest one was by Ale. He was trying to make something. I don't know if it worked. I think it worked the first time with a few people. Hold on. And otherwise, there's not much happening.
Is Mo.io still working on that whole project?
Mobile?
Mo, like MOE.
Oh. I think, yes, I think I saw him in the Mob official and I saw him implementing what Sean made, which
Mhm.
is kind of cool actually.
So do you think? Because I know you mentioned earlier in the conversation that um IO games are dead. When do you think that really happened?
I think it was about like the peak was like 2019,
Hmm.
around that, where people just played this because it was the norm. And then it kind of died off. It still exists. The communities
Yeah.
exist and they're thriving, but there's not much growth, or they're not trending.
Do you think the death of IO games had any correlation with the pandemic?
I think maybe the pandemic maybe boosted it a bit
Yeah.
because people just stay at home and they have nothing to play, so they just play IO games.
Hmm.
Otherwise, like statistically, I have no idea.
So, do you think ROAMS.io could ever evolve into something which isn't a .io game?
Maybe if it has some sort of potential, if Basha suddenly gets like some sort of really good idea or something,
Hmm.
though I don't know, not sure.
What's the chance of Roams still existing and being updated in 5 years, you think?
If the rewrite goes well and we actually survive and like start updating and working like for real, where it starts gaining its money, I think maybe if the community stays and grows, then we could have a chance.
Yeah. So let's assume that Roams.io, Pasha finds something else to do with his life and other stuff happens. Do you think something else like Roams would pop up to replace it?
Maybe the earlier mentioned Mobile's game, but I don't think so. Not really. Mobile by itself was. It had a horrible problem that it just didn't get any content updates. So
Yeah,
even if there is a new clone, it's just the same thing, and people just don't want to play the same thing for 10 years.
I guess.
Depends.
So, F right. So, as you know, Roams isn't really being updated right now. It isn't really. There's not much content and there isn't much players. So, for
Mhm.
anyone like watching this, what other .io games would you say would be good for them, which are kind of like Roams?
Like ROAMS, I have
Yeah,
not seen many games like ROAMS. Although I know I played Fly or Die a few times. I played Creature IO without
yeah,
E on the end, and few more like I don't know. Deep IO. Deep IO is a great example. It's very similar, or
yeah.
well, not exactly, but it's similar to the context of like animals evolving.
So going,
And
sorry.
otherwise, like IO games by themselves, I would like maybe Lapa games like Star Gaming. They're fine. They're okay.
So going back to the community aspect, what do you think is the average age? Like, if you're to just get the entire average of everyone's age in the ROAMS.io Discord, what do you think it would actually be?
Thing about from 12 to like 18 and above because like the people that were kids when it was mob time, when it was the peak of mob, they grew up. I'm one of them. I'm 16 now. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So there's not gonna be that many children because nobody new is coming to the game. Not really.
absolutely. So I think, is there ever much problems with having to ban underage users on the Discord?
I have not seen many in Rome either.
Yeah. So let me go back to my question list. So I think this is for the ninth thing. So can I show? Can you send some of your best art, like for the audience, right?
Oh, sure thing.
All right.
Let me just search. I've been drawing Star Vial lately, and I just finished a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna guess. Also, there's a contest in gaming going on, and I have my submission, which I think is one of the best ones I've ever made.
Yeah.
Scroll down. There we go. There's few examples of my art style and everything.
Yeah.
If it could load, there we go.
All right. So I'll put this on screen, but first we have a dragon with a red one.
Star
Is it coming out of a volcano?
Oh yeah, it's like there was this guy. He gave me like 25 bucks for Rain World, which was really cool. So I did that for him, even though he didn't ask for it.
Oh, so
Just deserves it.
you're are you getting commissions?
I close my commissions for now because the only people that I get commissions from are goddamn scripters. Like, genuinely, the only people I got commissions from are either scammers who do not like want to pay me,
Yeah.
or people who just straight up make scripts for Starwire, which is extremely sad that this game is still being terrorized by these people.
Oh. So they like give you scripts which are sad? Like you have to draw sad stuff or what?
No, scripts are cheats in the game Starvio, which
Oh,
they use, and I do not support that. I am very much anti-cheat,
are you
and I
able
don't want to make commissions for them.
are you able to code?
Am I able to what?
Code because these scripts are related to code, you know?
Scripts? Oh no, I don't. I have no idea how to code.
Oh.
I'm
S-
an artist. I have no clue how any of that
Yeah.
works.
So for the next art piece it shows what's the game with the square people?
Starvio, I mentioned like 20 times right now.
Yeah, I don't really play much other IO games, so it's
Uh,
it's the pink person's going and then gets a book and it's how to fly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a comic thing I made. I didn't make any sequels or prequels yet,
yeah.
although I do have one of art.
So you have some person with disconnected limbs on a crab.
That's also starboard. That's how they look.
So, can you please explain the dragon anglerfish stuck in the sea sponge?
Oh yeah, that's the Taming Gaio submission. Let me just find the
Alright, sure.
image. It's gonna be in a second. I am pretty certain I'm gonna win this one. I have never been more certain in my life about something than that. It's like a commission
Yeah.
competition about your skin in game, and I had like a really lucky combo of a skin, so I drew that.
Who's the judge of the game? Of the art.
Anyone wants to play, if you
Oh,
know him.
okay, so okay. So the next round shows, is it like a yin
Uh,
and yang?
yes, that's from the game Cat Goes Fishing. It's like two fish that exist in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I used to play Keko fishing. Did you also take inspiration? Cause I remember like a few years back I watched with my family Avatar, right? And there's like this pond with like fishes which look like that. Did
No,
you no?
no, I have never watched Avatar.
Oh.
I
So
just thought it's kind of cool.
and then you have a fire toucan in
Yeah, the lava
flames.
toucan. There's a funny fact that the lava toucan in the ROAMS is
Yeah.
actually an informal toucan because Precious Coconut, the artist who made the tokens, she drew two versions of the lava toucan, the lava toucan and the inferno or
Oh,
something.
wait. So
So the
I
lava toucan ended up being the fiery toucan, which you have in the game, which is completely different than mobile. And the inferno toucan is current lava toucan, if that
that's
makes any sense.
that's crazy. So
I still have all the assets of them.
yeah. So I have a question. So is the Roams.io art like copyright free?
Absolutely.
Alright.
The
So
artists that made the style, Pike and the other one I forgot, I'm sorry, they were never under any contracts, and the current art style of mobile is completely different.
yeah, I know. Why do you think Mob.io even changed its art style?
Honestly, I get that the making a change because the game is supposed to grow. I get that. That's why we also didn't make it like S0 because we couldn't do anything about that. That would be kind of lame.
Yeah.
But like they never added the content. We never got anything. It was just reskins after reskins.
So I know it sounds weird, but like, why do you they they kept on adding skins and they kept on changing the textures, but why did Mob.io never actually add any content? You think?
I think Addicted Games, the company that bought Mobile, kind of killed it. They didn't care about the game. They just wanted the money, so they just kept adding like pay-to-win features. They added better graphics for it to appeal to more people,
Yeah.
but it never worked.
So how much did Addicting Games buy Mob.io for?
The name itself is worth a lot, but the game is not. It's garbage. It
Yeah.
is in horrible state as of right now. But the name itself is worth about. I heard someone state 10K, about 10K dollars.
Just 10,000?
I have no idea how value works. So sorry,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, it's really just the brand itself, mobile.
So how do I phrase this? What? If you could, you don't have to say it, but are there any secrets that will be revealed in a long time for the Roams.io community?
I don't think there's any secrets. There's no people pretending to be different people. the Ahmed Khan situation is not going to repeat, I think.
Yeah.
But maybe there are some secrets, but I'm not gonna reveal them. Maybe the only secrets I am going to reveal is that I will send the scrap stuff that didn't get into the rewrite in my own server, and maybe I guess Pasha could send it in the official as well.
Yeah.
Depends how he feels.
So I remember like it happened 2 times, right? The entire just the roams.io server was purged, right? All the channels were deleted. Why did that
Yeah.
happen?
When did that happen? Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's
Was
like
it during better?
I believe, yeah. Not when it was
Well, then
called
I
roams.
wasn't there.
Oh.
I wasn't there probably. I really just appeared out of nowhere and missed all the like stuff that happened before.
Yeah, cause I remember there were just so many different what was it called? It was this Better Mope ripoff.
Mohio?
No, no, no. It was like one of the people who used to work on Better Mope switched to something else.
Oh, is it like Ahmed Khan and his game?
No,
Possible.
what was it called? I don't know, but it was like this
Maybe.
adventure something.
Oh, I have no clue.
Schlacku, that person, I believe. And he tried
Oh,
to,
Shrek.
yeah, and he tried to open
Uh,
a game kind of like Roams.io, but nobody actually cared about it. Everyone's too busy on like Roams.io, so he just ended the project, right?
oh, I never heard of that either.
Yeah, I just feel like there are so many good artworks and suggestions in the old Roams.io server before it got purged. Missed out on a lot. The whole
Yeah.
community. So, what's your opinion on just the Black Dragon and the OBDs and the okay?
I think the Black Dragon is an interesting idea. I feel really bad for Kraken, who spent like a bajillion years on the assets and everything just for it to be removed as of right now. But I think it's cool. It rewards people, but it's kind of tricky to like balance it. You can't reward people who spend time on it and then be like
Yeah.
people who just start, they just have no chance of defeating them.
That's what I found interesting, right? Because this is just like one of my just problems with the game, right? You have just a lot of animals which are too similar to each other, right? So you
Yeah,
have a
that's a big
pigeon
problem.
and then an Arctic pigeon and then another pigeon and there's like four or three different of each animal, right? Flying birds.
Mhm.
So I think what would help the game is you know how people always used to use elephant because you could just
Yeah,
kill frogs and stuff and
oh, yeah,
snails.
it was so free. I love that.
Yeah, do people even still use elephant?
Oh yeah, I sometimes do. It's
Yeah,
still
but
pretty good against people.
not as much, right? So what I think the game has to do more of is you have to notice what animals people aren't using.
Yeah, I know. It's quite hard to like make some special abilities, and there will always
Yeah.
be just animals that will be neglected because they just either are really bad or just are overpowered by something else that is better.
Yeah, like I'm saying. This is just like a possible thing. I'm not sure how the coding thing works, but maybe every week they change around like the stats, right? So certain animals get stronger, certain animals get weaker. Did any other.io game implement something like that?
I've never heard of anything like that, but I know in Temengayo and obviously in Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
there's types and everything which make something stronger and weaker against each other, which I think could work, but I have never seen that idea even like cross the minds of others.
Yeah. I think OBD it's definitely a very good idea, but it needs a weakness, right?
Yeah,
So you know the
but
gem?
if
Sorry.
yes, the gems, the gem power.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I forgot what it's called. There's this giant like
The
orange
blue, the
reddish.
red, yeah, the
Yeah.
OBD gem. I forgot as well.
So I think what would be better is that it takes like 50 years to like switch it around, right?
Yeah,
So what?
to eat it and become the overall
Yeah.
the OBD.
So I think what would make it maybe more powerful. I know maybe it's like some variants of this idea, but while
Like
someone is battling the OBD, right? He loses
yes,
all his stats when the gem is like touched during its touch. So if you get someone to touch it, right, from the other side of the map and he's somewhere else, he just becomes a lot weaker, right?
that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So let me find something real quick.
Sure.
So I know Kraken she keeps on working for the game just to
Yes,
get the stats, right? Yeah.
she's my close friend.
She did a whole lot for the game. But
Yeah, she made like the most of the most.
yeah, I
She's the
believe
main
like 70% of like the reskin
about
update.
that. She
Yeah.
really just did like basically everything.
Yeah. So what's your like motivation to keep on working for the game, you think?
She is very passionate about the things she works on, which I really appreciate, even when she's a little bit harder to talk to when it comes to feedback. But I understand it's quite annoying when there's like three people yabbering. But I think it's just the passion for mobile. It was like a really awesome game, but it's really sad to see it to like dead.
What's
So
yeah.
she want it was really sad to see it dead, so she wanted to revive it and she achieved it.
So like what's your motivation to keep on working for the game?
To be honest, it's just a side project I kind of like to work on.
Yeah.
It's not completely passionate, I don't put my entire heart in it, but I do in fact enjoy making it.
So I know before you mentioned that the Inferno toucan skin was used as a Lavus toucan skin, that type of stuff. Are there any like of those little known facts you could share?
Ah, there's few Arctic foods which never got added because we thought there's already just a bajillion of it.
Like
And
can you give some
the
examples?
there's few I know there's like berries, like big red berries and some sort of I would
Uh,
have to find it right now. Although I'm not gonna show the artwork, I can share the
yeah.
like idea or the name of the thing. Hold on.
So would these berries
There,
like give different effects?
no, they would just be another food. That's why we never chose to add
Yeah.
them. Also, there were like 20 bajillion and dragon reskins because a Kroken and Hoshi, yeah, Hoshio,
Mm-hmm.
the guy from Deepile, they kept making it and remaking it, and
Or they just
so
kept
there's
on
like
being
20.
told it to like change it?
No, they weren't. They just were unhappy with how it looked.
Mm.
Also, the Arctic food is Arctic choke and the red berry, which I made. And then there was one which was scrap, but I'm not gonna say it because it has potential in different area.
Oh, okay, okay.
And also there was like a squash or something. Never thought of that.
Yeah. And speaking of like the food items in the game, right? This is
Yes,
my
those are
I
some.
yeah. This is my idea. I think so you know how in mob.io they have peppers which they
Yeah,
make
I
you
really
fast.
like that idea.
So I
Yeah,
think
there
what they
needs to be
should
foods.
so I think what they could add is one like more of a saturation thing. So certain foods, right? They can like fill up your hunger bar more, but they go down faster, right? So kind of like the
Oh,
Minecraft situation. But another thing is I just think there's more potential for adding effects, right? So for example,
yeah, definitely.
right, certain I know mushrooms, right? Mushrooms have so
Yes.
much different capabilities, right? Just in real life. Yeah, not just
Hallucinogens.
hallucinogenic, right?
Delicious.
Because it's also kind of new alternative medicine, but like curing
Yes, it
cancer,
is.
right? Because I there's this person who
Uh,
works with mushrooms, right? And he had his mother, right? And there's this mushroom, I think it was like the turkey mushroom, something like that. Mushrooms which grow on the side of trees, right? Which kind of look
oh
like
yeah, like those
chicken
kind of
wings.
things.
Yeah, and he said like
Uh-huh.
his mother had breast cancer, right? And they helped him fix that. So I think just with a lot of the foods in general, they could add more just effects to the player when they eat it.
Yes, I think so as well, that they should have lots of different effects because there's lots of things you can make. You can make it change your speed, your health, your region,
Yeah,
the way you see even, and it could even like potentially decrease or increase your abilities, like the damage or speed at which they like.
yeah.
And so yeah.
So this has always puzzled me, since as a kid, right? When do you stop
Mhm.
making animals, right, for the game? Like
Yeah,
when is it too much for a certain tier? You think? What's the
when
max
it
animals?
starts becoming mobile, when you have like all the skins unlocked by just three columns of animals, I think one or two columns would be enough.
Yeah. So this has always wondered me, but after the game does grow bigger, do you think they would ever expand the map?
I think Pasha has really good potential. He's a good coder,
Hmm.
so maybe if Bromzo starts being kind of lame, or we just really want to move on or something and make our own game, the theme, then I think maybe it's possible.
All right, so let me go back to my list,
Sure.
and then we are almost done. But
Lovely.
are there just any other cool facts, or should we go to the final two questions?
I don't. Also, the white black dragon, for some reason, it's called that. Its wings are kind of broken, and its abilities, some of them don't even have assets. Like they don't appear in game for some reason, which
Oh,
makes them look kind of silly. In game, they just without wings,
so do
and that's it.
this. Yeah. So I know that just like certain staff members, they can get unique skins. Do those skins have any like difference to the gameplay? Do they have extra stats or?
No, no, no. They're just purely aesthetic,
Yeah.
and all of us share all of them for some reason. We used to have only ours, but I think it's better when we have all the other ones as
Yeah.
well.
So I haven't really played the game in a while, but do they still have like colored names?
Yes, we do. And we even have more colors now.
Have any hackers like ever like said they would hack the game or anything?
There were a few attempts at botting, and I think using 1v1 PvP bot,
Hmm.
which were kind of pathetic because Pasha instantly found out about them. But otherwise, no, I don't think so.
Okay. So I know it sounds silly, but what do you think's like the biggest drama right now in the community?
Probably the fact that we're not updating the game,
Yeah.
but otherwise, it's kind of too dead for it to have any drama.
Yeah. So the player base right now, are they like Russian, English? What's the main language that Rome's players speak, you think?
Definitely English and Russian. I have
Yeah.
no idea why, but Russians are basically everywhere in our games.
Hmm. And then it's the final question.
Yep.
Are there any final things you want to talk about or say?
I think that Ramsayo has some potential. It's still gonna
Yeah,
take a long time before Pasha makes something, but
absolutely.
I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. We're working on it, and there's been lots of progress happening. So I'm gonna thank all of my coworkers or just like teammates at this point.
All right,
And thank you for watching.
all right. So that's all. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.